And now for something completely different.
That's so funny that you're wearing that because look at mine. I'm wearing a Madonna shirt too.
Hey, you should.
But it's from Who's That Girl?
Shouldn't you be wearing that tomorrow?
I'm gonna wear it tomorrow too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm a guest, co-host. I guess maybe I wouldn't consider myself a co-host. I'm just a guest on a show
Yeah.
where they're
Guest
going
host.
to be discussing a Madonna movie, which is Who's That Girl, which I'm an expert on, and they wanted me to be a guest to talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I like that. That's funny.
And then I will plug our show.
Good. That's always good. Yay. All right, we're going to start because you know who's going to be waiting to eat dinner.
It's your weekly pop culture roundup every Wednesday. The Swish Edition with Robbie and Walla Walla.
Town so nice they named it twice.
And Scott in Sin City.
Viva Las Vegas.
We've got all the pop culture silliness of the week you totally need to know. Brace yourselves. This is the Swish Edition.
Is it a faux pas to wear the shirt of the person you're going to see at a show?
That's what I want to know. This is a question I want answered. What do you think?
When I was growing up, I mean, if you were cool, right? If you're going to a cool rock show, you were never supposed to wear the shirt of the show you were going to see.
Right.
Which I always thought that was kind of like, really? I think it was so cool that it was just too cool to do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I was never that cool, but I understood reasoning behind it a little bit. I was like, okay, I guess I understand it. But of course, I want to wear the shirt of the person I'm going to see in the show.
Yeah.
Duh. So at this point in my life, I will wear the shirt of the person I'm going to see.
Good.
Unabashedly. Okay. I don't even know if that's still a thing that people care about anymore. Also,
I don't know.
Also, when you go to a show and you buy, say for instance, someone buys a shirt at the merch table, I always see people immediately put them on and wear them over the clothes that they wore.
So it is cool. So
are you looking at them and you're like, well, they're lame for doing that. But
no,
you know what? I'm not running around calling people lame for doing stuff that makes them feel good. So
there you go.
I am not about that life. If you want to wear a concert shirt for the concert you're going to go see, then please do it. If it makes you happy, do it even more.
Yeah.
So
well, I bought myself a Backstreet Boys Millennium t-shirt that I'm wearing to the Backstreet Boys concert when we go on August 20th. So there you go.
And you know what? I will not have a problem with that.
Good.
I am teetering on between wearing I already bought some white jeans. I will not eat anything with ketchup the day that I wear them. For the shirt, I have a white Swish Edition shirt, or I have a Vampira shirt. Vampira, she was the first female horror host. I will wear one of those two. I don't know which one I want to wear, but I will figure it out the day of.
Cool.
But so if you hadn't noticed, this is our concert episode.
Yeah.
Where we discuss our favorite concerts that we've seen and the ones that were not so good for us.
Right.
And then we can sort of say why. We can say who they were. Maybe we didn't like the show because of some bullshit that happened while we were at the show. Maybe the show itself was good, but the experience was shit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the artist just was off that day. But
that happens.
Between the two of us, we've seen a lot of, I'm going to say, icons.
We have.
That's a touchy word we have. Who is really an icon? But we have definitely both seen icons.
Okay, so when you do each one, when you mention them, you let me know, let everyone in America and around the world know if you think that person's an icon or not.
I will most certainly, definitely do that.
Well, where should we start?
Well, let's start here. I'll go first.
Okay.
With my best shows.
Okay.
And so before I get into this, Scott and I have gone through all of our past. Like I said, I saved all of my ticket stubs for concerts ever since
Crazy.
the beginning. So
So he
I
has-
was just
so he
able to go through.
knows.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I was able to go through all my scrapbooks and remember each show and sort of give some time and thought to this process. I didn't just throw this together. I remember all of these shows, good or bad, and
Yeah.
most all of them are good. I don't really try to go to bad shows, and I try not to have a bad time when I go to a show. But so I definitely went through all my ticket stubs, looked at them. I have pictures that I've taken at some shows. There's really only one that comes to mind that is probably going to be one that Scott shows here. It's my one with Stevie Nicks. But I took a picture of a lot of my stubs and stuff. In my scrapbook, I include the ticket stub and either like an advertisement from a newspaper magazine type situation and put it in there with it. Maybe a clipping from a concert review or something like that. I don't know, just a little something, a keepsake to remind me of the show. So I'm going to get right into my list. And here's the thing, I did not rank them in order. This
That
is
would be
just
too much.
this is just a collective favorite. I don't know
Okay.
if I could rank them in a specific order because it's too hard, because I like them for different reasons. But so let's see. Let's see. So the first on my list, although it's not number one, it's just the first on my list was Madonna. Of course, it's going to be Madonna because it's me. It was Madonna's Sticky and Sweet tour from 2008. And I saw it at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Wow, iconic.
Yes, and it was the first and only time I ever saw a show at Madison Square Garden. And it was exciting for me because I always wanted to see a show there, and to see my favorite artist at this venue was just epic. And so
Can I
Sticky
make
and
a
Sweet
Can I make
tour-
a side comment about Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
I've only been once, and I did not go for a concert. I went to the Republican National Convention.
I'm sorry, what?
I was working. I didn't have a
Okay.
choice. Yeah.
I hope that my face gets shown on the video for when I heard that.
So why was it the
Well-
best? And you've been to several of her concerts.
Oh yeah, I even wrote down how many times I've seen people. I've seen Madonna
Yeah.
6 times.
So why was
And-
Sticky and Sweet the best?
So here's the thing.
He's going to tell us.
So I would have loved to have seen the Blonde Ambition tour in 1990. Although I was only in 2nd grade, there's no way I could have done that. So anyone that got to see that, I'm so jealous of you. But then in the 90s, Madonna didn't tour that much. She did Blonde Ambition in 1990. She did the Girly Show in 1993 and did not have a lot of U.S. dates. She was like New York, L.A., and I'm out. She did Europe and Australia. And then it wasn't until 2001. From 93 to 2001, she didn't tour. 2001, she did the Drown World tour, and she went everywhere. And I was 19. I could have gone to the one in D.C., but I just didn't go. I don't know why. I don't know. I was not living in D.C. at the time. I was living in Norfolk.
Yeah.
But I would have had to get myself up there, get a hotel, get a ticket. It was all too much for me at 19 to do that. Even for Madonna, it was just too much. But anyway, so the tour she did after that was 2004, which was the Reinvention tour. And I had moved to DC in 04 at this point. She did the Reinvention tour, which was to promote the American Life album. And I saw the Reinvention tour both nights that she performed in DC. One with really horrible seats and then the other with okay seats. And that show was fun. Wasn't my favorite of her shows, but it was a good show. But American Life is just not my favorite era of hers, but for a lot of reasons I won't get into. And then after the Reinvention tour, she did the Confessions tour to support Confessions on a Dance Floor, which was an epic tour. And of course, I didn't go. And this is on my list of shows that I wished I had seen. So she did Confessions in 2006, Confessions tour. She didn't come to DC. She went to all these other cities, but she didn't come to DC. And a lot of people thought it was because Bush was president. She was very much against Bush at that time. So she was like, I'm not coming to DC. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what everybody said. I think I read it somewhere in a magazine. Closest she came to DC was Philadelphia. And in 2006, I was young and broke. I couldn't afford to get myself to Philadelphia, stay in a hotel and see the show. And it was playing I remember it was playing like on a Wednesday. I'd have to take off work and all that. It just didn't work out for me. Although I'm really kicking myself now because that was like an epic concert that she did. So when Sticky and Sweet came around, which was the show after Confessions, in support of her Hard Candy album, which is not my favorite album at all from her. It's kind of one of my least favorite albums, but the album was not my favorite, but the tour was very good. And she toured for like I'm not kidding, 2 years with this tour. And she stopped in Madison Square Garden. I was with a boyfriend at the time. We made a weekend of it. We went, or whenever it was, we hung out in New York City, went to the show. It was a fun time. So had a good time at the show, had a good time in New York. Was glad to go to MSG. I hate it when people call it MSG, Madison Square Garden. And Madonna put on a good show. My next one here is Cher's 1999 Do You Believe tour. And that was at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater when I was living in Norfolk. So 1999, this was in September of 99. I had just started my senior year of high school. And I was huge into Cher. She had just had her big comeback with Believe. I was like huge into Cher at this time. When she came out as was going to tour, I had to go. This was one of the very first concerts I ever went to. Not the first. I'll get to that one later. But this was one of the first. It was definitely the first huge one I went, like for an artist of Cher's caliber.
Yeah.
And this was also the first time I saw Cyndi Lauper because she was opening for Cher for this show.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yes. I remember Cyndi Lauper very vividly because she was wearing like a bright red dress and blue hair. And she was like jumping up on the speaker. She was running through the crowd. She was great. And then Cher just blew it out of the park. You know, Cher hadn't toured since 1991. And then 99 was when she did Believe because she didn't do a lot in between. And the show was great. It was so good. And so the next one I have on my list is Bette Midler. She did a tour, Kiss My Brass tour in 2004. And I saw that in DC. It was then called the MCI Center. And I think it's called the Capital One Arena now, but it's the big one in Chinatown.
Multiple things, yeah.
Yeah, it keeps changing names, but it's the arena in Chinatown. And this show is definitely in my top 3.
Really?
It was so good. I went with my mother. Me and her went together, and I was still living in Norfolk, and we drove up to DC. It was right before I moved to DC. Like literally 2 weeks later, I had moved to DC. So we came up here sort of like so I could like sort of like get a lay of where I wanted to get an apartment. And we saw Bette Midler. My mom likes Bette Midler. I love Bette Midler. We had a good time at the show. The show itself, I am so surprised that it has not been recorded. I mean, it was recorded, but not released as a concert film or concert video because the show was awesome. I was blown away by this show for her. And then I remember I went and saw her again in Hampton for this same show a couple months later. But yeah, that was a good show. Next one on my list is Stevie Nicks, her solo Stevie Nicks in 2005 at the Nissan Pavilion in Bristow, Virginia. I hate this venue, and I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But it was for her Gold Dust tour. She was I don't think she was promoting anything at the time. She just wanted a tour.
Yeah.
And I was I'm still obsessed with Stevie Nicks all these years later. I was extremely obsessed with Stevie Nicks back then. So I was living in DC. I still had a car. It was before I got rid of my car. And I drove all the way out there, went to the show. This was when, you were not allowed to bring in cameras. Also, people didn't have cell phones like we do now in 2005. People had them, and I had one, but I think I left it in the car or something. I don't think you could bring them in. Anyway, if you wanted to take pictures of the show, they would let you, but here's the thing. They would sell you one of those janky disposable Kodak cameras. You want to take photos at the concert? Here, you can buy this for $10. So I bought a disposable camera for $10. I don't know.
Why did they do that?
Because they're stupid.
Not you, but why did they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was dumb. But I'm glad that I did buy it because I got a great picture of. So this was a great show. Stevie Nicks is always good. I've seen her. How many times have I seen her? I wrote it down here. I've seen Stevie Nicks either solo or with Fleetwood Mac 5 times. Only one of those times was with Fleetwood Mac. So I've seen her 4 times plus Fleetwood Mac. Okay. She never disappoints.
Yeah.
And since I'm a Stevie Nicks fan, I know that usually, like 99% of the time at the end of her show, she ends the show with Edge of 17. That's the one, just like the White Winged Dove. You hear the guitar riff, and you know that she's going to come around. And then what she always would do, this was pre-COVID, I don't know if she still does it or not. The beat would start, the guitar riff would come in, and then she'd walk out and she'd sing the song. And as the song was ending, she'd come up to the end of the stage and shake hands and greet people that were in the very front. And people would hand her stuffed animals, flowers, whatever. She'd shake hands and just greet all the people. I knew
were you in the front?
and I knew this. No, I was not in the front, but you know what I did? I was sort of near the front, but when I heard Edge of 17 and I knew that it was the end of the show, I ran up to the front, pushed my way all the way through the people, because I was like, I know she's going to come down here and start shaking hands, and I want to be one of those people. And she came down there. She was leaning over. I was snapping a ton of pictures. I don't know if they were going to come out or not. You know, it's the disposable. And I put my hand up and she shook my hand, and I was in heaven because, you know, this was my goddess, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
She touched me, and she was shaking hands all over me, and I was just snapping pictures. And when the show ended, I was on such a high. I think I called everyone in my phone and was like, I just touched Stevie Nicks. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was driving back to DC. I had to be at work the next day. I think this was on a Sunday.
Oh.
But anyway, so that was a great show. The next one I have on my list is Dolly Parton. I saw her at the Patriot Center, which is at that college out there somewhere. Is it GMU? I don't know. Patriot Center. That was 2008 for her Backwoods Barbie tour. That was a good album for her, and she did all the hits you wanted to hear. She was perfect. Next on my list was Celine Dion. Celine Dion, when she was at Caesar's Palace in Vegas, and she was at Caesar's for a long time. This was like a return.
Right. You saw Celine. You didn't see A New Day.
Right. I didn't see the original Celine Dion production at Vegas. This was the show she was doing before she stopped and before COVID happened and before she got stiff person syndrome. So, and this was one of the last shows that she did. So I saw her at the end, but she was a pro, man. She was a pro. You know, I wouldn't call myself a Celine fan per se. I like her. I like her music. I mean, her voice is nice, but she's not my go-to. She's CJ's go-to. He loves her. But I was more than happy to see the show, and I enjoyed it. She put on an awesome show.
I was disappointed in it.
But wasn't it on your list?
Because I'd seen, New Day is on my list.
Oh, New Day. Okay, so you went and saw her again but you weren't there the night I saw her, because I remember meeting up with you after the show that night.
I didn't see it that night, but I did see, Dale and I did see that show. Yeah.
Okay.
Saw it twice. But so I want to just point out, because you're not doing it, that I believe you will agree that everyone you've mentioned so far is an icon.
Well, yes. I'm so sorry. I know we talked about that. I was going to wait until I got to the end of my list and said that they were all icons. No, I'm just kidding. No. First, 100%, no doubt about it. Madonna's an icon. Cher's an icon. Bette Midler, an icon. Stevie Nicks, Dolly Parton. These are heavy hitters, people. Yeah. Celine Dion, all icons.
Right.
Like legitimate, full-blown icons.
There you go. Agreed.
And I'm glad that you brought it up at that moment, Scott, because everyone after that is a little iffy.
Right.
Iffy.
Icon light.
They might be icon light, or they might be icons in their own wheelhouse.
Right.
But so the next one for me, which was an epic show for me, was Pat Benatar, 2015 at the Warner Theater in DC.
And she's still amazing to this day.
She sounded so good.
Yeah.
And when she sang certain songs, I literally, like, tears were just streaming down my face, because she was just so pure. And I don't know, like, I like Pat Benatar, I really do, but she doesn't transcend for me like the way that Stevie Nicks does, or clearly Madonna, or any of that. But Pat Benatar is really cool. I don't know. I really liked the show. I thought she did a good job. That sounds kind of lame to say that, but I don't know why I said that. But no, I love the show, and I love Pat Benatar. But she might be a rock icon, but can you just say she's an icon in general? I don't know if she can be. I don't know if she transcends. But for me, that was a great show. And so the next one after that is Cyndi Lauper at the 930 Club in DC, which is a great venue.
I was at that show. Oh my God, I forgot to put that on my list.
Were you at this show in 2005?
I was there. 930 Club.
So I can pull out my ticket stub, but it was cold outside. I think it was like the end of the year. and it was at the 930 Club, and Sandra Bernhard opened for her, and then also Jill Sobule was there too. And for Jill Sobule, she had a hit. Well, it was kind of a hit called "I Kissed a Girl." Like 10 years before Katy Perry had a song called "I Kissed a Girl." It was not the same song at all. It just has the same title. But Jill Sobule I think she was a lesbian. She was definitely queer artist in the mid 90s. I liked her. She's since died in a house fire, which was very weird.
Thanks.
Yeah, she's not around anymore. But so yeah, she was with Cyndi Lauper and Sandra Bernhard. Sandra Bernhard sings songs, but she does it sort of in a comedic way. So she did like a set, and I think she sang Lita Ford's song "Kiss Me Deadly." I believe Sandra Bernhard did sing that at this show, and I was there with my friend Crystal, who has also since passed away. But I just thought the show was great. I love seeing any show at 930 Club.
Yeah, it's
a great venue.
Yeah.
And I've seen Cyndi Lauper. Let's see, I wrote it down. I've seen Cyndi Lauper 7 times.
Jesus,
and that's
Lord.
because she's been so easy to see. One of those I count as the one where she opened up for Cher, so that counts as one. But out of all the times I've seen her, this was my favorite one. And next on my list is Youngblood, that I just saw this past March. It wasn't March. It was May, just this past May in Portland. It was the Idols World Tour. And I did an in-depth review kind of on one of our episodes that we did back then. So I touched on it there. He's definitely going to be something huge. He's not an icon now, but I think he has the possibility to be one.
Okay.
So what do we think about Cyndi Lauper? Do you think she's an icon?
But no,
I like Cyndi Lauper too, but I don't know. She's definitely not in the same league as Madonna, Cher, Stevie Nicks, all that. But
No.
I mean, and I hate to say it because I love these artists. I'm not trying to shit on them or anything. But and my last one on the list is also my very first show that I ever saw. It's No Doubt, 1996. I can hear you typing.
Sorry.
No Doubt, 1996, my very first show. It was at the a venue called the Boathouse in Norfolk, Virginia. Boathouse was a really cool venue.
Yeah.
There are some old school people from Norfolk that still reminisce about the Boathouse. It was literally on the water. It was like on above the water.
It was on a dock. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why
on
they
a
called it a
dock.
boathouse.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was a very small venue,
Yeah.
standing room only kind of situation, you know? I
Yeah.
think it was like a quarter of the size of 930 Club. So the fact that No Doubt performed there in 1996 is amazing to me because Tragic Kingdom, their huge album, came out technically in 1995. But it took a long time to gain traction and all that. They had a ton of singles off of it. I don't think they started gaining traction until the summer of 96 when Spiderwebs came out. Remember Spiderwebs? And the summer of 96 was when, this is how you found out concerts were going to go on sale back then. You were in your record store and they would have do you remember they would have a chart or a chalkboard or some kind of notice in the record store? Well, you can buy tickets for these shows coming up, and they would sell the tickets right there in the store. They had like a Ticketmaster machine. I remember being in the record store with my mom, and I don't remember what I was buying, and she says, "Oh, look, No Doubt's going to be here." And guess how much the ticket was, Scott? $9. $9. So, and my cousin was with us, my cousin Beth, and she was like, "I'd go to that." So my mom bought 3 tickets, one for
How did they
each
make
of
any
us.
money selling tickets for $9?
I don't know. It was 1996. Things just seemed. I mean, even then, $9 was not like a penny in a bucket or anything. But I mean, nowadays it seems insane that it would only be $9. I mean, how much did we pay for our drinks at the last show that we saw?
24.
Yeah, that's crazy.
$24.
And here I got to see No Doubt in their prime for $9. So here's the thing. So that show was supposed to be in August of 96. Well, it got postponed all the way until December of 96. Between August and December, they blew up so much that the show got sold out clearly. I mean, it was a small venue.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they still held that date, considering how big they got. Because by the time I saw her at December 96 at that show, it was yellow tank top, platinum blonde ponytail bangs with the little dot on her forehead, Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
I saw the fucking Gwen Stefani up close and personal in a general admission situation. I remember going there with my mom and my cousin. My cousin was like 6 months pregnant at the time, which was funny to me. But and I ran into some high school friends. It was so cool. It was a cool experience. Nowadays, I like No Doubt way less, but back then it was awesome. And that was my first concert too. So, but our note is Gwen Stefani an icon? No. Is No Doubt iconic? They are iconic for a 90s band.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Yeah. So
No,
anyway.
they were definitely amazing, but yeah.
So now Scott gets to do his, and then my worst list is exponentially short. It's way shorter.
Probably the best concert experience that I've ever been to. The overall experience is the Sphere. And I think that you are going to be bowled over by that experience. I know you've been there. I know you saw the Wizard of Oz there, but you haven't been there for a concert. We are going in 2 weeks from tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that.
I feel like I just left Vegas. I'm coming right back.
I know.
To see
I can't
Backstreet
wait.
Boys.
I can't wait. Backstreet Boys at the Sphere, guys. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. They're wrapping up their summer tour date, their dates there at the end of this month. And I know they'll be back. There's nothing on the books, but I know they'll be back because they sell that damn place out and make $5 million a night. So why wouldn't you come back, right? Anyway, are they the best singers in the world? No. Do they have the best music in the world? No. But man, do they put on a good show. And this is why I'm going to see it for the third time with you. So very excited.
Sometimes that's all that matters, you know. You might not be the best singer, you might not have the best songs, but you put on a good ass show.
Now the tickets weren't $9, but you know, they were a little more expensive than that, but not overly ridiculous. I'll put it that way. So that's at the top of my list. Are they icons? No. They're up there. For boy bands, though, they're probably the most iconic boy band. Would you agree with that?
See, I grew, you know, I was a teenager when the Backstreet Boys were out.
Yeah.
Love Backstreet Boys. They were iconic, but they're not, no, because they didn't maintain anything. You have to maintain for longer than a couple of years. They're huge for their time, and they are a nostalgia act. They might put on a good show, but are they icons? I would say no.
No.
So, and also, you would rank them as the number one boy band of all time?
I think so.
You think you'd rank them higher than New Kids on the Block?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Even when New Kids on the Block were in their prime?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know, because I mean, I would probably agree with you on this. I think Backstreet Boys would be the number one, because I honestly, New Kids on the Block, when they were popular, I was kind of too young to care. All the girls I knew in school were gaga over them, and I was kind of pissed off about it. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are they? And I honestly, Backstreet Boys songs are better than New Kids on the Block songs, and somebody can fight me over that, and I'll take my earrings off about it. I think Backstreet songs are better than New Kids on the Block songs. But honestly, my personal preference, I might like NSYNC a little better than Backstreet Boys, just in their prime, like not what they're doing now. Backstreet Boys are doing great things now. NSYNC can't even get it together. So, but back when they were out, I was more of an NSYNC guy because they were more dancey, and Backstreet Boys were more ballady. That's the only reason why I liked NSYNC more, because I like more dancey stuff. But well, I was obsessed with both of them. Yeah.
And I don't think NSYNC will ever come back, because I don't think what's his name will do it. So Justin, but it's too sad. If he saw how much money the Backstreet Boys are making at the Sphere, he would get his act back together. I would.
Honestly, yeah, they could do just as good as Backstreet.
Although think they could too.
Even back then, Backstreet was the bigger act.
Yeah,
NSYNC was.
Absolutely.
Because
that's why I said they were the best.
Back, you know, like I told you, I'm glad that we're going to see them, because I always wanted to see them in their back when they first came out in the late 90s, but they never came to Virginia Beach, Norfolk area, because they were too big to come there. NSYNC was there, and so I saw them, but I never got to see Backstreet because they were like, oh, we're too big for that market, kind of thing.
Well, you get to see them in 2 weeks. All right, my next one is Aerosmith. And I've said this many times. I think it's one of the best rock concerts I've ever been to in my life. I was very, very happy to be there. And I'm glad I saw him when I did, because it wasn't soon after this that they decided not to tour anymore. This was their residency that they did at the Park MGM Hotel here at the Dolby Live Theater. It was called Deuces Are Wild. And Dale and I sat on the stage. They set up this area with 20 seats on each side of the stage, and we had our own bar, and we were on the stage. And because we were behind the speakers, because the speakers are made for the audience, we had to wear these things. We had to wear in-ear things connected to a little thing on our belt, and we could pick the channel we wanted to listen to. We could either hear what everyone in the audience was hearing, or we could click it over and just listen to Steven Tyler. It was really, really cool.
That's wild. What year was this?
It was, I don't know. I didn't write that down, but it was since I've lived here. I think it was before COVID. So it was either 18 or 19. Yeah. So it was.
And how did Steven Tyler sound? Because
he sounded great. Yeah, he was sounded great, and everybody looked great. And well, I don't know how great they look, but they have a lot of energy, and they put up a lot of oomph into their shows. Even then. So it was really cool.
Would you call Aerosmith an icon?
I think so. They've been around for a long time.
Well, you have to question it. So that's telling. That's very telling.
All right, maybe they are. I don't know.
But here's the problem. Sometimes you can be considered like an icon for a while, and then something happens where you ruin the legacy somehow, and then you get knocked out.
What did they do to ruin it?
I don't know. Just things come out. And, I don't know. There's been a lot of like Steven Tyler is not like.
Oh, he's not a saint. That's for sure. Yeah.
Not that he has to be, but I'm just saying, like, also
everybody has that stuff, but
I think he's tainted his image a little bit by being on. Was he on The Voice or America's Got Talent? One of those. Was it The Voice? He was a host or a guest judge on.
No, it was American Idol.
American Idol. One of those. I mean, they all like.
He was on when J-Lo was on.
I think he tainted his image a little bit by doing that. He sold out. And as a rocker, you're not supposed to do that. But I will say yes, Aerosmith is an icon. Yes, I would say yes.
Or they're an iconic rock band.
Yes, I will say that. Yes.
So I was going to move on. We could talk about Aerosmith all day. Fleetwood Mac is my next one, and this was the final concert that they ever did. And I was there. This was at the end of their 2018-2019 World Tour. This was November 16th at the T-Mobile Arena here in Vegas. Now, of course, you know that Lindsey Buckingham was not there because they basically fired him right before
he had
they
a
started
hissy
this
fit.
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they had Neil Finn of Crowded House standing in for the Lindsey Buckingham vocals. And
so you didn't get the full Mac experience.
Well, no, but I mean, I would have
because Lindsey Buckingham is a huge part of Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, but he didn't do this tour. So
it's not like John McVeigh wasn't there. Like honestly, he wouldn't be that big of a deal to miss out on. He is part of the Fleetwood Mac. But Lindsey Buckingham. So when I saw Fleetwood Mac, Christine McVie wasn't there. And I feel like she's a big part of it too. So I felt like I was missing something. But at least Lindsey was at my show.
Okay.
But I just wanted to point that out.
So he's making mine less of a great concert experience because
I think so. Yes, I 100% am saying that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I enjoyed it.
So I'm shitting all over your experience right now.
And I was you are, and I was happy to be there for the final concert. So,
but I mean, you have to admit you weren't a tad disappointed that Lindsey wasn't there and this other guy was there from Crowded House.
I didn't really give a shit. No. I mean, I don't love Fleetwood Mac so much that I really cared one way or the other.
See, I do.
I know. I know. You explained that.
But the thing about Fleetwood Mac is that they've had members come in and out a little bit, just a little bit. But Lindsey is such a huge part of that band that him not being there is a hole. It's a hole.
He wasn't there because he's an asshole. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. They
Yeah.
they all are, to be honest.
They were all
They
they weren't
got
very
too
nice to
big
each other.
for their own britches, and
Yeah.
as my grandmother would say, now I'm saying it, whatever. But they were all like after Rumors came out and they were the biggest band on the planet, then they all turned into assholes. I mean, they might have been
Yeah.
before that, but yeah, I still like them though.
Me too. And I listen to them all the time, especially their old stuff. The next one is Janet Jackson. I've seen Janet Jackson in concert 3 different times, but the best of the ones that I saw her do was the Velvet Rope Tour. And she did that at the MCI Center, I think it was called then, the same place where you saw Madonna.
Yes, MC.
1998 is when I saw the Velvet Rope Tour there, and I thought it was just absolutely one of the best concert experiences I've ever been to. It was really, really great.
So was this the one where I remember seeing? I've never seen Janet live, but I've seen a concert video. Like, they released a video of this tour, and was this the one? For your show, did she tie somebody or chain somebody up to like this bed or something? There's a concert video that she does where she did this live in Hawaii, and somebody from the audience comes out, and you think it's somebody from the audience, but I think it's somebody who was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
A plant. And
Yeah.
it's a guy who's into it. She like straps him into this like contraption, and like I don't know if that happened at every show or just this show. That's why I was asking if you remembered it happening.
Yeah, I don't remember that. It was 1998. I don't remember what I had for dinner last night, Robbie. So if
Yeah.
it's not written down, I don't remember it.
Well, and like, so Janet Jackson's not my favorite, but I would definitely 100% consider her an icon.
Yes, she was definitely
No doubt about it. No doubt.
And let me
about it.
tell you, I know you haven't seen her live, but of course you've seen plenty of performances that she's done. She puts on an amazing show, and
I don't doubt it.
She sings all the songs you want her to sing, and she sings them beautifully. Her voice is still great to this day.
Her choreography is kind of untouchable. It really is. I mean, I will give that to Janet.
She doesn't quite dance the way she did when she was in her 20s and 30s, but she can still do. She can still do a lot of it. No, and I can't. But then, of course, I also saw her. Dale and I saw her in an amphitheater concert somewhere in New Jersey, and for the life of me, cannot figure out when that was. I can't find it on her Wikipedia page. I don't have there's no record of her being at that concert, but she did it. And then she did the Metamorphosis residency at the Park MGM here in Vegas, the same theater where I saw Cher and Aerosmith and Ricky Martin. She had that, and we went to see that. So I've seen her 3 times, and she was amazing all 3 times. Love that.
I'm happy about this because, I kind of would want to see Janet at some point, but I feel like I missed out on my opportunity to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but no, I mean, Janet's a great artist. She's definitely contributed so much to pop music. And like I said, I'd consider her an icon. We didn't mention, what about Fleetwood Mac? I would consider them an icon.
Yeah, they're definitely an iconic group.
I mean, I already said I'd consider Stevie Nicks an icon, of course, but Fleetwood Mac, definitely. Okay. I just want to, if we're doing through that, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, and your next one. I have something to add later for this guy.
There is no later. So Prince, I saw him at the MCI Center, the same place as I saw Janet Jackson when it was at, but this was 2004 for the Musicology tour.
And that's one on my list that I should have seen, but didn't go. So
it was
friggin'
amazing.
I didn't go.
I saw it in the Williams Conley suite. It was amazing. He put the stage in the middle, so he had everybody all around him. It was really great.
He likes doing stage in the round.
Yeah, I love that when people do that because I think everyone gets a much better view when they do stuff like that.
I am so sad that he is not around anymore.
Drugs are bad. Yeah, drugs took him out. The next is Lady Gaga. Now, I've seen Lady Gaga several times, but and I put these both kind of in the same category. So I saw her do her jazz and piano show at Park MGM. And that's when she comes out with a big band, and there's no choreography, there's no dancers. She's wearing a beautiful gown, and she does all the standards, like
I would have hated
lady
that.
Tonight. I don't
want to hear her sing that.
It was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. She has an amazing voice. She put on a great show. She sang a couple of her songs in that kind of style, 1940s, 50s kind of style. I don't remember what she sang, but I could go back and look at the set list and remind myself. It was really good. And then, of course, I saw just last year, I saw the Mayhem Ball at the T-Mobile Arena here in Vegas, and that was friggin' amazing. She started with Abracadabra and came out in that big gilded birdcage type thing. Yeah.
She performed that at the Grammys, I think, or maybe it was the
Yeah.
MTV Awards, one of those two.
Yeah. And it was the very same thing that she does in the Mayhem Ball. So it was
that looked kind of cool.
It was a very, very great concert. And I love her to death. I'll watch her read a book, but I just love her, everything she does.
So the question, so I don't love her, but do you consider her an icon?
Yeah, I think she is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I said that I don't like her, but I would consider an icon at the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
I can be objective about it.
I just think she's amazing. And I think she really knows how to entertain an audience. She's so much fun to watch. I like Lady Gaga more than I like Madonna. So, yeah.
I am going to have to process that.
Yeah.
And just move right into the next segment here.
Well,
so
I'm not done with mine.
You just told me something and you're done. You are
I have
done.
one more. I have Celine.
Okay.
Celine Dion, definitely an icon. I've seen her twice.
Of course, we said that.
I saw the show that Robbie saw, Celine, which I thought was boring because she basically sat on a stool most of the time. And then there's A New Day, which
she didn't sit on a stool for us. She didn't sit down at all for us.
Are you sure?
No, she would. I'll bring CJ in here. She was all over that stage.
But she didn't have it wasn't a full production show with 70 dancers and
it was
stuff.
It was very scaled back, but she was walking around and like she wasn't sitting in a stool like Barbra Streisand.
She sat on a stool the entire concert that I saw, and it might have been because she was injured in some way. I don't really remember.
Could have been. She was a little bit more frisky when we saw her.
But A New Day is one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Dale and I have watched the DVD of it because it was recorded for a concert film probably a dozen times. We used to watch it in our movie theater because we had a home movie theater, and we would watch it on the big, huge screen.
Oh, yeah. You know what? CJ would appreciate this. Be sure to tell him that you love Celine Dion and that you have this DVD because he is that is his moon goddess is Celine Dion.
Oh, I love her. She's definitely an icon.
So when you guys don't get along on don't see eye to eye with other things, just mention Celine Dion and then you guys will just
right. I know. Perfect. And so that is definitely one of my all-time favorites. And I was so sad when she closed that show because it was just so perfect. So perfect.
Well, I mean, she is a great talent. She has a great vocal talent. And, we were lucky in the 90s to have Whitney, Celine, and Mariah, the vocal trinity at the same time in our lives. How lucky were we to experience the vocal trinity in the 90s during their prime? We didn't even appreciate it at the time. And it makes me, I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. We didn't know how good we had it in the 90s to have this vocal trinity.
We never know how good we have it. That's why you have to live every day to the fullest, right? And take advantage of all the opportunities, right?
Have we had anyone else after as good as those three? Maybe Adele.
Kelly Clarkson.
Christina Aguilera for a piece of time. Just a piece. She was more of a poppy star, but she has the talent. But I don't think she was on par with the vocal trinity.
Well,
but yeah,
and Kelly Clarkson definitely has the voice. She might not be an icon, but she is a powerhouse for sure.
She's not on par with the vocal trinity though.
Okay, well,
she could wash the sheets and scrub the floor of the vocal trinity, but she ain't there.
You are too funny. So, Robbie, when you do the good, you also have to do the bad. So we're going to do our worst concerts ever, and we're also going to do our honorable mentions, and Robbie's going to tell you how many concerts he's been to in his short life. Right after these. Yes.
I have the total number.
Right after these messages. Are you ready?
This, my friends, is the Swish Edition.
There's no excuse not to listen. Swish Edition.
Did you lose your place?
Nope. So you already went through your best. Now it's my turn to do the honorable mentions.
Yeah, we're at number 6.
So going through my best, and also I've seen so many great concerts that it was hard to just narrow them down. And I even had to narrow it down to like 10. That was hard to
Right.
do. But so I had to have some honorable mentions because these concerts were great as well. I just couldn't fit them into my top 10.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with Patti LaBelle. I saw her in 2018 at the Warner Theater in DC. I think she's in her 80s now, and she still going strong. So in 2018, nearly 10 years ago, she was in her 70s, and you would never have known if you didn't know how old she was. She looked fabulous. She sounded fabulous. She was great with the crowd. And the added benefit of that show. So I've talked about Jennifer Lewis before. She's the one that she's the mother of Black Hollywood. That's like her nickname or her moniker. And I talk about her because I love the movie Jackie's Back. And I mentioned that last month because it was Jackie Washington Day. So in 2018, Jennifer Lewis had just come out with her book called Mother of Black Hollywood. And I think she's from the DC area. For some reason, she was in DC. I don't know if she has a house there. I don't know. But she was at the Patti LaBelle show, like seeing the show. And Patti called her on stage at one point in the show. And here comes Jennifer Lewis being Jennifer Lewis and being a riot.
Freaking out?
And I was like, oh my God, Jennifer Lewis is here. And she, she was being crazy and funny. And then she sang a little bit of Lady Marmalade with Patti LaBelle. It was kind of epic.
Cool.
It was kind of epic. And there was another part in that show where and I think Patti does this on maybe all of her shows. I've seen it on other shows where I've watched them on concerts or something, where she asks people in the audience to get up and do like dance offs and stuff. Like, show me your moves, baby. What you got? And I wanted to go up there so bad because I wanted to just be up there with Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
But I was like, I am not going to embarrass my white ass in front of Patti LaBelle and this theater full of people. And so I didn't do it. But there were some people that went up there that I could have done it because they didn't know what they were doing. But that was a missed opportunity on my part, but it could have gone horrible. But no, Patti LaBelle is a great artist. I'm so glad she's still with us. I think she's just great. And she's still touring, by the way. So if she comes around.
She pops up all the time. And answer the question, icon?
Yes, Patti LaBelle is an icon. Yes.
Okay.
What do you say?
I guess I don't really have an opinion on it. Yeah, I don't.
She started out with LaBelle. That was her group.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s. And she's an icon because she has some songs that are truly iconic that she did with LaBelle. Lady Marmalade. Just because she did that makes her an icon already because that song is so iconic. Right. And then for her to have that great solo career that she did, Oprah used her song for her theme song for a long time. You can't be an icon if you got that. If Oprah's going to do your song for a theme, you're an icon. And
I gotcha.
The next one on my honorable mention listed Belinda Carlisle, and we saw this together. We were with a group of people, and it was a general admission show, so we were just scattered about. But what I liked about this show was very intimate. It was intimate. There's a place in DC. I'm pretty sure it's still there. It's called the Hamilton. It's a big restaurant, and it also has an event space down in the basement for like bigger shows. It's very small space, but for bigger shows, because they also have like a little lounge upstairs where they do piano and little like club acts. So
when you say about the same size as the 930 Club ish, or smaller?
No, what you mean the space downstairs or the space of the building?
Downstairs,
smaller, because the 930 Club has the second level, and doesn't the 930 Club even have a third level? I could be mistaken, but they definitely have a second level. But what I loved about this show is that Belinda Carlisle was solo, but she was given she was given like an awesome for all of us. She was just given her best. And
That wasn't a complete sentence, but
I know I was sort of lost, but she not only did she do all of her solo hits, she did all of the hits from the Go-Go's, which you see somebody solo, you're like, oh, are they going to do the hits from when
Right.
they were with the group or not?
have to.
And she did. She delivered
She did.
everything. And she was up there the whole time without any shoes on, with a tambourine and a band. And yes, I liked that show a lot, just because you got what you wanted.
I don't
Now-
understand the barefoot part, and she also did that when I saw her here in Las Vegas at the House of Blues.
That's something she does. She just likes to perform
But-
barefoot.
Yeah, but her feet, the bottoms of her feet are absolutely black when she gets off that stage.
Have you seen it, or do you think that?
I know it. Come on. Those stages are filthy, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that, but if it makes her put on a great show, then
Yeah.
she can just be out there in her bare feet like she's Johnny Appleseed. Now, what I call Belinda Carlisle an icon, I love her to death, but I don't
No.
think she's icon level.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
so my next, because we're not just going to throw out the icon label. We said it before. We're just not throwing it out to everybody.
We're overdoing it. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lita Ford is my next one. And this is an interesting one for me because honestly, I only really know like 2 Lita Ford songs, right? But her as a performer, I'm really fascinated by her and intrigued by her because she's a great performer. And the 2 songs that she does, well, one of them, Kiss Me Deadly, is like one of my all-time favorites. And
It's a great
I
song.
wanted to go just to see her do that one song. That's how much I love that song, and it rocks.
Yeah.
And I went there. You were not at the show, but I was in Vegas to see her at the Golden Nugget. This was in 2023, so it wasn't that long ago. But I
Yeah.
saw you and Dale while I was there.
Right.
We like spent the day together, and then I was going to this concert. I'd already had like, I don't know, a dozen drinks maybe. So I was already
and you
a
still
little.
remember it?
Yeah, I'm a champ,
Yeah.
man. I can last all night. And I was getting drinks while I was there too. So at the show, I had like these theaters in DC, I'm sorry, Vegas, there's not a bad seat in the house usually for these theaters in Las
Right.
Vegas. They're all very good. I had good seats, but they were not up close. So I went, I had liquid courage, right? So when I went to get another drink at the bar, I came back and I saw that there was a couple of open seats in the very front row. So I said, fuck it. I'm just going to go down there and hang out and see what happens. If they throw me out, whatever. I just want to be up close. So I sauntered down there with my drink. Oh my God, I was having the greatest time jamming out to all of her songs that I didn't know until she did Kiss Me Deadly, and I lost my damn mind. Well, the other song that I know that she did was I Close My Eyes Forever, that she did a duet with Ozzy in the 80s.
Yeah.
She did that song, but of course she didn't duet with Ozzy. It was somebody else. But man, she did Kiss Me Deadly last. And when she walked off the stage, I threw my hand out and she shook my hand. And she was fun. So she had like the double electric guitar. She was doing it old school style, like straight out of the 80s.
That's very cool.
So sometimes it's the experience that really makes it for you,
Yeah, for sure.
Now, another one on my list that is now Lita Ford, would I consider her an icon? Maybe a rock icon, but I would not consider
No.
her general icon.
No way.
But she was part of the Runaways in the, Joan Jett was in.
She's not an icon.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't call her like a straight up icon. But in the rock world, I think she's somewhere in there. But
You're
my
going to
next
give it
one-
to everybody. You're going to give it to everybody.
I'm not giving it to a lot of people. I gave it to
Okay.
Patti LaBelle, and I'm not giving it to Lita Ford. But
Okay.
my next one it's kind of I don't know, somebody might say what, but Paula Abdul. I love Paula Abdul.
I think she's awesome.
She's one of the greatest pop stars that came out of the 20th century, the late 20th
Yeah.
century. She had a string of great hits in the late 80s and early 90s. And at this show, I saw it at the MGM National Harbor in DC, the newer casino that's out there,
Yeah.
for my birthday in 2018. And it was a good night already because I was playing the slots, the Wheel of Fortune slots before the show, and I won a little bit of money. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to make me happy. It's like
Okay.
a couple $100. And we went to the show. We were on the floor. We had seats, but we were on the floor close up. And another thing I liked about this show was she did every single song that you'd want her to do. I mean, she only
Yeah.
has so many, but
Right.
it's not like she has so many songs that she could skip some, but she did every single one. She even recreated some of the choreography and stuff that she had for certain ones. That was really cool.
And she can still dance.
She can still dance, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was singing live, and I didn't care, but she was on fire. And she, during Forever Your Girl, which was later in the show, like before the encore, she was walking around and greeting people, and me and CJ was with me. CJ and I got to shake her hand then, because she came up, walked by us, and we shook her hand.
You get to touch all the stars.
I do. People just want to come up to me, right? So I will say this, Paula Abdul is so tiny.
Yeah.
She is tiny. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, great show, fun show. She puts on, a fun show, right? The last one on my honorable mentions list is Kylie Minogue. When I saw her in 2011 at the Patriot Center outside of DC, I think it's in Vienna, Virginia. And it was the Aphrodite tour, which was the first tour where she had come to the United States. She'd only done maybe some shows in New York or LA or something, maybe over time. But this was the first tour she did of the whole country. She's only done European dates up until that time. So in DC, there was even a bus that took a bunch of us gays out there. Because it's 20, 30 minutes outside of the city, and you don't want to drive out there.
Where's Patriot Center? Is that at George Mason?
GMU, yeah. GMU.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was a party bus that somebody hired. I don't know who it was. I think it was $10 a person or something like that. There was 20 gays on this bus going to see Kylie Minogue, all excited because she had never performed in the United States to where we could have seen her. And it was a good show. She was fun. It was varied. The Aphrodite album was really good album for her that I really liked.
Tiny. That woman is tiny.
I did not get to shake her hand. I was sitting too far away, but I did get to do a review of this concert in the Washington Blade newspaper in DC. So my review for it is out there somewhere. It's in my scrapbook next to my ticket stub, but it's out there to read. And I gave it a good review. I think the only bad thing I said about it, and it wasn't even bad, it was just kind of a joke. There was a jacket she was wearing that looked like a Muppet. It looked like Fozzie Bear or something. I was like, that's the only thing. I just wanted to make fun of something. But
I have to tell you, I don't know what's wrong with me or why she was never on my radar. But Kylie Minogue was just never, again, on my radar. I just didn't know about her. I didn't watch her stuff. I mean, I knew Locomotion. I knew that the song that she did a couple years ago, the Indian-inspired Padme song.
Oh, Padam.
Padam, yeah. But
I think that song was just dumb.
It was a dumb song, but it was catchy. But I just never got it. And I never understood why people were so gaga over her. But
well, it is kind of interesting because she never really caught on in the United States. Only with the gay community did she catch on. And even then, it wasn't until after she had done her comeback, which was Can't Get You Out of My Head, when she had that song come out in 2001.
She was a soap opera star on Australian television.
Yeah, I think it was called Neighbours.
Yeah,
and then she was pretty famous in Australia and the UK, but she had two modest hits here in the United States in the late 80s.
Yeah, but she wasn't
Locomotion and I Should Be So Lucky.
But she wasn't. She's a Madonna and Gaga level in Australia now.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an icon for Australians.
But I would not call her an icon. I'm not going to put her on my icon list.
You don't have to. You don't have to because you're an American.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be an American.
But yeah, so that's my honorable mention list. You look like you have a couple of good ones on your list too.
Well, I'll start with this right here. If you guys can see my full camera right there. Who is that? It's Katy Perry. I've seen her 3 times and I love her. I guess she should be up there on my best list, but I didn't really think it was that great. I mean, it wasn't the best concert I've ever seen, but certainly entertaining. She knows how to entertain a crowd. She does all the hits, obviously. And she also doesn't just stand there and sing. She loves props and she loves big props, huge ones. So it's really fun.
You know who else knows how to entertain a crowd? To subway performers on New York City when they come on there to ask you for money.
Are you trying to shit on my section?
No, I'm just
what
trying
does
to
that
make
have
a
to
joke.
do with Katy Perry?
Well, you said she's good at entertaining people.
Was completely from left field.
Well,
I don't.
sometimes I come out of left field. Katy Perry's whatever.
Okay, so we have already established that you don't like Katy Perry, but I don't understand why. Because she's so likable, she's so pretty, she doesn't age. She's dating the Prime Minister of Canada. She's just so cute, and I love her to death.
I just kind of find her cheesy and fake.
And she's local. Shut up! I'm going to turn your mic off. She's a local. She grew up here in Vegas. She did her Resorts World residency in 2022 and 2023. Dale and I went twice. We have 2 different pictures with her because we met her both times. And one of those events is when I hung out with Neil Patrick Harris and David Barca, his husband. Anyway, that's a discussion for another show. And then I saw the Lifetimes tour, her most recent tour at T-Mobile here in Vegas. I just love her. I love her. Plus, she's an astronaut. She went to outer space with Gail King. So it's just super cool, I think, in my book. And I would totally hang out with her. Anyway, next is one of my all-time...
Well, wait, would you consider her an icon?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Nope. Ricky Martin's an icon because he has pretty single-handedly put Latin pop music on the charts. I've seen Ricky Martin many times in many different forms. I've seen him in Evita on Broadway. I chased him around Miami one night from bar to bar, and I went and saw his residency here at Park MGM called All In back in 2018, and Dale and I got to meet him and get our picture taken with him, which is behind the camera, but I'll put it up here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. And then I saw him as a part of the Trilogy tour when he was touring with Enrique Iglesias and Pitbull. And I got to tell you, as much as I love Ricky Martin and I just think he's hot as shit and I enjoyed him in everything that he does, he's my hall pass. So if I ever get a chance to have sex with him, I'm allowed to.
I mean, if we don't do that hall pass thing. I mean, anything goes really, I think. But yeah, he'd be on my hall pass if I had one. But yeah, I didn't meet him, but he was staying at the W Hotel when I worked there, and he walked by my desk with his children. And at first, I was like, "Who is that attractive man?" And I was like, "Oh shit, it's Ricky Martin." And he was there with his husband at the time. I think they've since divorced or something.
Yes,
but
they have.
man, he is really good looking in person too. Let me tell you.
He really
But
is. I
do like
super nice guy.
I do like Ricky Martin, and I would consider him like a Latin icon of the Latin community, but I don't know if he's like a general icon.
He's definitely an icon of Latin pop music for sure. I mean, he was in
definitely.
Menudo. He was on General Hospital. He can do everything. He can do it all.
He was like really young on Menudo, and they switched those boys out so quick on Menudo. They only stayed for a certain time before they aged out, and
it was a manufactured group, just like Backstreet and NSYNC and All for One and all those groups. Anyway, moving on, because I know we have a time limit today. Cher, believe it or not, I like her too. She is an icon. We already agreed on that.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I've seen her several times. I saw her Park MGM residency. I saw her at Caesar's Palace before that. I believe I saw her at Mirage a million years ago. She's just amazing. I don't think I ever saw her in DC, but I know that she did perform at the National Harbor MGM there as part of her residency duties. Yeah, with MGM.
I saw her there at MGM.
So you saw the same show as me. She basically did the same show for a long time. They just called it different things. She always started out with that U2 song, which I hate.
Yes, I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
I do not like that she opened the show with that. I really never liked that. But, there's some things I don't like about her performances. And now she doesn't dance anymore. I don't even know if she could do a 90-minute show now. She probably couldn't. But I do love her to death. She's still funny as hell. She can still sing, obviously.
And so she loves her Dr. Pepper.
Does she?
She talks about that on her show. She talks about
I've never
Dr.
heard
Pepper.
that before. But she's got some great wild stories about all kinds of things. So it's fun to listen to her.
So when you said you saw her at the Mirage, do you mean like back in the early 90s?
Yeah, I think it was the first time I ever came to Vegas.
So yes, she 100% performed at the Mirage because she has a concert special called Live at the Mirage.
I have it.
I think it was during the Heart of Stone tour, which would have been in 1990 or 91, somewhere right in there.
Real early on. Yeah, I was in college at the time, and you were in diapers.
No, I was
Next-
not in diapers in 91.
Next on my list is someone who's here in Vegas right now as we speak, I believe, Kelly Clarkson. I saw her at Planet Hollywood, and she actually grabbed my hand because I know Robbie likes it when pretty girls grab his hand. And so I was kind of thrilled when Kelly grabbed my hand, and she also told my friend Jacqueline that she had cool hair. So that was kind of fun. I'll put that picture up when she walked right in front of us.
Oh, you took a picture of that? That's cool.
I did not take a picture. Someone behind me took the picture, posted it on Instagram. We found the
yes,
picture.
I saw you post that recently.
And you see the back of our heads, yes. And we were like, well, holy shit, how cool is that? So it was kind of fun. That's the first time I've ever randomly seen myself in someone else's social media post. So that was kind of cool. Also, Jennifer Lopez has to be on my list. I brought a prop because, of course, I'm wearing a concert t-shirt. I thought I would show you my J-Lo, It's My Party sweatshirt. It's a hoodie. And on the front, it says J-Lo. There's only one reason I have this. It's not because I really had to have a J-Lo hoodie or even wanted it. It was so fucking cold in that theater.
Wait, what theater did you say it was?
It was at T-Mobile here in Vegas.
Oh.
It was so cold that night. I was freezing my ass off. I had just had this really thin t-shirt on, and I'm like, I'm buying myself a fucking hoodie, and I don't care how much it costs. I think it was like $85 or something. So that's how I got my J-Lo hoodie. Okay. She put on a great show. This was her 50th birthday tour. That's why it was called It's My Party. And she rocked out T-Mobile, man, let me tell you. And she had all the moves and all the sexy dancers, and she did all her hits. And I thought it was a really great time. Next is I think,
but wait,
tell me if
you gotta go. Do you think she's an icon? Do you think Kelly Clarkson or J-Lo's an icon?
Neither one. No, not yet.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is an icon. You can't discount that. Yeah, of course she is. She has more fans than any of these people combined, and she makes more money than all of them combined. So
but that doesn't make you an icon because you make money.
It
make
does.
a lot of money.
Money is the only thing that matters, Robbie.
No.
Come on now. Taylor Swift put.
Let's wait. I'll consider
would you stop?
her being
Why
an
can't
icon.
I get through a sentence? You don't let me get through a sentence.
40. We can talk about her being an icon.
I said she's an icon, and I'm your elder. So I get to decide on my honorable mention list if someone is an icon on my list. How about that? No? Do we have to does it have to be a unanimous decision between the two of us?
No, it doesn't. I'm just but yeah, she's next on your list.
To deal with you today, I went and got myself a cocktail on the commercial break. So since it's Friday, I decided I would have a cocktail.
I love that for you.
Thank you. All right. Can I finish? Can I go on?
Yeah, she got 3 more.
We're running out of time. No, I have 2 more. 3 more. Taylor Swift, I was at the Eras concert here at Allegiant Stadium, which is our football stadium where they play the Super Bowl. They did the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They're going to do it again in 2029. That's where she did her concert here. 3+ hours of amazingness. Here's my story about this. We left early because I was we were on the floor. We had floor seats, so we had really good view of all the action. But I was so overwhelmed and annoyed by all the adolescent girls all around me that I thought I was going to kill myself. So I think we left the show halfway through, but I've watched the whole thing several times on Disney Plus. And I also watched the 6-part documentary about making the tour. So I feel like I've seen it, even though I didn't see the whole thing with my own eyes in person. So I think you could probably imagine that stadium. Plus, guess what? You couldn't go to the bathroom. There were so many girls there that they took up all the men's bathrooms too. So there were lines for the bathrooms for both men and women, and there were no.
So where did the men go?
You couldn't go. There was nowhere to go. You either had to pee in a bucket or you had to leave.
Well, see, and also when there's an artist that's huge and a lot of their fan base is underage, right? Like a child where a parent has to take them to the concert, right?
Right. Or they drop them off.
Well, the parent a good parent will take them to the concert, right? So, but here's the thing: you're getting the ticket for the kid and the parent who may or may not have wanted to be there. So that's, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the only reason why she sells out shows, but you have a built-in additional person for each one of these little girls that wants to go.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that in. But no, I wouldn't want to be at a show that was full of kids.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. I love her to death. I love her to death. I love everything that she does. I think she's a very good person. I think she has a big heart. I mean, she's given more money to charity than any pop star in history.
I don't question her. I don't question her as being a good person or not. I don't even question her being a talented artist or not. I just think she's, it's like, it's crazy how insane people go for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just insane to me. Like I
And you
can't
just
wrap
don't
my
get
head
it.
around it. I don't get it. That must be it.
Yeah.
I don't think she's terrible, but I mean,
think
we've talked about her before, and I don't like to like unfairly attack someone about just because I don't like them. I mean, but she's fine, but I just don't get the hype.
Fine.
You know what I mean?
I love her. I have all of her records on vinyl. I listen to them all the time. I love her.
And I also question, not that I'm trying to insult you or anything, I question someone who is older. What do they have in common with Taylor Swift singing about breaking up with boys? Like a song like we're never, never, ever, ever getting back together. Like what?
I think
I
think there's a
cannot
difference.
listen to that as an adult.
There's
I'm
a
so
big
sorry.
difference between you and me. I don't even listen to the fucking words. I'm not listening to the story. I just like the music. I mean, I certainly know the lyrics and I can sing along with it, but I don't care. I just love her music. Absolutely love it. And maybe I have blind loyalty to her like you have blind loyalty to Madonna. So, I mean, I'm very critical of Madonna, and a lot of the decisions she makes I think are really stupid, but people seem to love her.
They do.
They do. Speaking of Madonna, she's the next one on my list. I've seen her twice. I saw her at the Reinvention tour in 2004, which we were probably in the same room together for that. And then I saw her at Rebel Heart in 2015. Both of those were at the Verizon Center or whatever the fuck it was called.
I was at both of those shows as well.
Yeah, and I will never go to a Madonna show again. I think I made that very clear in 2015.
I know. You told me that, and I know why too.
Yeah, she doesn't start on time. She doesn't give a shit about her fans in the audience. She will not allow them to turn the air conditioning on. So it's hot. You're late. You're there way longer than you want to be. And I'll never pay to go see a concert of hers again. It's a miserable experience.
I don't think she or anybody else is going to lose sleep over that.
But there are a lot of people that agree with me. You know,
no, I mean, I read it. I read it all the time online. Every time she did a show, people always complained about how she's late or what. I mean, technically, she does have, and she has opening acts. They're just DJs, but they're still acts. It's not like there's nothing happening for hours until she gets on stage.
Why does the ticket say 8:00 if you're not going to come out till 10:30? Fuck that. It's don't even.
But
try
here's
with
the
me.
thing. So she might be extra late.
You know when Cher started? Cher started at 8:05 when the ticket said 8:00.
Was this in Vegas? Was this in Vegas?
Yeah,
okay, Vegas starts on time. Vegas starts on time.
Not Madonna, because when she was here, listen, we were offered 2 free tickets to the last time Madonna was here. What was it? Stupid Madam X or something?
Yeah.
We didn't go. We were like, no thanks. There's no fucking way.
Have you ever seen her in Vegas? Then how do you know she didn't start on time? Did you read about it?
I know she didn't start on time. Trust me. I do read, you know.
But here's the thing. Yes. Okay. I totally will own up to it. She is notoriously
late. You don't have to own
late.
up to it. I already know about it.
But she's not the only artist that does this. I went to a Dolly Parton show where she was like an hour late starting.
That's stupid.
I've been to many shows. No show, unless you're in Vegas, starts right on time. It just doesn't.
Okay. All right. There's a difference between starting near the time and the difference between starting hours after the time.
And also, here's the thing. Like, say, for instance, the time printed on the ticket is 8:00. All right. It's not going to start at 8:00. That's just a given for nearly any artist. Then the opening act does their thing. And then there's a break in between the opening act and the main act so they can set that up. So there's going to be some stuff.
You're telling me a story like I just got here on Earth. I know how it works.
Right. So I'm just wondering why you're complaining so damn much about it.
Because she started 2.5 hours late.
Well, also, here's the thing.
That's not acceptable.
If you know she's going to start that late, then get to the show late.
How did I know that she was going to do that? I didn't know that she was going to do that. And that's unreasonable on a school night to ask people to come to a show that starts at 10:30 at night.
Yeah, well.
All right, we could fight about this all day.
There's a lot of people that don't care that much about it. But,
all right,
I mean,
my last one, we're done with that. My last one is No Doubt. I know No Doubt was on your list earlier because they fucking rock. Whether you know all their music or not, they're very good at what they do as a group together. And seeing them, Robbie, at the Sphere was over the fucking top. They spent so much time putting their visuals together for the screen. It was just really perfect. Just as good as Backstreet's. By the way, Backstreet ticket says 8 o'clock. Guess what time they start?
Well, I know that they're going to start on time because it's the Sphere.
No, they don't.
And the Sphere has very strict rules.
They don't, though. They start at 8:40. Everyone knows that, and everyone here knows that. And so, but you still get there at 8 o'clock because you want to hang out with all the people in their white outfits. So, all right, that's my list. I know we only have about 20 minutes, so you're going to have to do this really fast, and I know you can't.
So I'm going to run through my worst list. And, I didn't want to linger on the negatives. And it's not like any of these artists were completely horrible. Like the show is so bad I walked out. But so I'll explain why briefly. So the first one on my list, it was memorable bad experience for me was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in 2008 at the dreaded Nissan Pavilion in Bristow, Virginia.
You guys, you have no idea.
No hate on Tom Petty, although the show wasn't that memorable, but I'm not going to shit on Tom Petty.
Certainly because he's dead.
It was outdoors in the middle of summer outside of DC, humid as fuck, and we were sitting in the damn lawn. It was me and a boyfriend of mine at the time, who I won't even bring up, and a couple of his friends. I don't want to sound like a fuddy-duddy or anything, but sitting on the lawn at a Tom Petty concert, there was a whole lot of pot smoking around me, and it was just annoying. And I couldn't see the show. I could hear it, but we also missed the opening act because the traffic getting in was so bad. The opening act was what's his name? Steve Winwood.
I love Steve Winwood.
Who I would have liked to have seen too, but he was just ending as we pulled in, got there. And then the show, I don't really remember a ton about the show, but I just remember being annoyed because I'm outside in the fucking grass in the middle of summer in DC, surrounded by pot smoke. And it took, I'm not kidding, it took like 2 hours to get into that venue. I was so pissed. And
Ridiculous.
So since we knew it took so long to get in, we all decided we were going to leave before the show ended so we could get out of there.
Good.
Thus, I missed hearing my favorite song of his, American Girl, which we heard while we were in the parking lot. And it still took us forever, like hours to get out of that freaking parking lot. It's
Fuck
like
that place.
There's nobody that is controlling the way that people park there. I was so mad. I wrote a strongly worded email and sent it to that venue, and they did respond to me, but I wasn't asking for anything because I was like, I'm never coming back to this venue. I don't give a shit who's performing
I will
there.
never go there again. I don't even like Wolf Trap. Fuck it. And did you know, just as a side note, and I know he sent me his email, so I got to read this very well-worded email.
Scott got to read the email.
About the parking situation at Nissan Pavilion. Fuck it, Bristow, Virginia. You don't know how to park cars.
I think it's called Jiffy Lube Live now, maybe. It's changed its name. And that's the dumbest name ever.
Names.
Jiffy Lube Live.
Diana Ross is going to be performing at the fucking Wolf Trap, and JR's bar in DC is giving away 2 tickets this month in August. Who wants to go watch Diana Ross in August outside in Northern Virginia? It's going to be 1,000 degrees.
So I do like Diana Ross, and I would see her, but I don't know if I'd want to.
Icon.
She's an icon. Yes, she is.
Absolutely, hands down.
So I saw Dolly Parton at Wolf Trap once, again, on the lawn. I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't always do the lawn, and it was hotter than hell. And there was giant bugs all over the damn place. Even
Ugh.
Dolly Parton said something because she was performing and a big ass freaking bug came flying at her face. But anyway, so no, outdoor venues in DC in the summer, just say no.
Just say no.
My next worst concert was NSYNC in 1999 at the Hampton Coliseum.
How dare you?
I like NSYNC, and the show itself, I would not call the show bad. I just had bad seats. I was with a friend. We were sitting like high up in the rafters. Talk about girls screaming. Oh my God. First of all, I shouldn't have gone to the show. I told my friend I wasn't going to come because I had like the flu or something. I wasn't feeling good.
Jesus Christ.
This was in 1999. I was like in high school. And I said, I'm not going to make it to that concert. I'm not feeling good, but I got guilted into going. Went there. I was coughing my ass off.
And the girls
lost my voice, my hearing. I lost my fucking hearing because the girls were screaming. The Hampton Coliseum is indoor dome. All the screams were just reflecting right back into my ears. It was, and then when we left, my ears were ringing. I'm not even exaggerating. I swear to God, my ears were ringing for 2 days. Awful. And the next day, I was so sick I couldn't even get out of bed. I saw them again.
That would be like, I was going to say that would be like going to a Beatles concert in the early 60s.
Man, people do not underestimate the power of screaming girls in groups.
All right.
Especially 20,000 of them in a dome.
I told you about when BTS came out on the stage at the American Music Awards. I thought I was going to lose my hearing for life. The girls behind me went fucking bananas.
Yeah. So I did see NSYNC that this was in like February or March of 99, right? I saw them again that summer of 99 at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater, which is an outdoor venue. It wasn't crazy hot this time. And I was not sitting in the lawn. I was sitting in regular seats, and that was a fun show. Okay, I had a good time there. My next one that I did not like was O-Town.
I can't even believe this is on your list.
I can't believe that O-Town.
Exactly.
Well, this was in 2001 in Norfolk. There's a cool venue there called the Norva. And it's downtown on, I think it's on Granby Street. Yeah, I believe Granby Street. And it's like the 930 Club of Norfolk, right?
Okay.
And it's general admission. But in 2001, making the band was O-Town. That was the first season of making the band. And I was really into Ashley Parker Angel. He wore the jean jackets. And they had that song Liquid Dreams that was out. Another one, I can't remember the other big hit, but I dragged my friend Brooke to it because she was dragging me at that same year to an Eve 6 concert at the same venue. And so I said, all right, I'll go to Eve 6 with you if you come to O-Town with me. But I mean, it was corny, whatever. They were low tier boy band. Anyway, my next one is going to be kind of surprising because I love both of these artists. It was the B-52s and Blondie together in the same show.
Oh.
And I love the B-52s and I love Blondie even more. I really adore Debbie Harry. The problem with this show is that this was in the summer of 2002 at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater. So it was the summertime in Virginia Beach, humid as hell. It was hot, sweaty, and our seats were not terrible, but sort of near the back-ish, but it was not lawn. And the B-52s came out. They were just like going through the motions, kind of whatever. I was a little underwhelmed by what they were doing live at that time. They were probably like, oh, we're in Virginia Beach, just fucking make it work. And then after they were done, Blondie was second, and they come out. Debbie Harry does not fucking move. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you want to see Blondie live, don't expect much because Debbie Harry can sing and she sounds angelic on the record, but she doesn't move.
Sounds like Mariah Carey.
And she was wearing like nothing. She wasn't wearing anything fun. And I remember her hair looked a hot ass mess. It was like it was in like a braid or something. I just remember I didn't like her hair. I was like, she was sweaty. She was uncomfortable. I could tell she was over it. And also to top it all off, we were sitting in an area and these girls were sitting near us and we were chatting with them. I was with somebody else that I was dating at the time. We were having a good time with these girls. They had worse seats, but they were sitting near us because this whole section was kind of not crowded. And then the people that did have those tickets came over and they were real assholes about them sitting in their seat. Like, dude, they can just move. But he called somebody that works there and said that we were all sitting in their seats. And the people were trying to make me and my boyfriend, Matt, leave. And I said, no, bitch, these are our seats. Those girls are just sitting here in somebody else's seat. I had to get real shitty about it because they were getting shitty with me. That was kind of a damper too. And I still remember it 25 years later. But anyway.
That had nothing to do with the show though.
But sometimes the experience when you go to a show can sort of like whatever. But okay, so then my last one, I'm just gonna mention it because I was gonna remove it. And it was Kylie Minogue. Like I said, an honorable mention was Kylie Minogue Aphrodite tour. Now I
Yeah.
have on this list is the Tension tour that she did last year. Now I'm not gonna say anything bad about Kylie Minogue. I just thought that show for me I was bored. I was
Yeah.
really bored. I was not inspired by anything at that show. Her outfits were underwhelming. There was no production value, really. I'm used to a Madonna type show when it comes to a diva on the stage, and this was not it. And
Right.
the audience was 99% gay men, my age or younger or a little older. So it was
Yep.
like being at a gay club, kind of, right? And a bunch of annoying gays. It was like me times 20,000 people, right? So I was
Yikes.
just like, oh God, I feel like I'm back at a club again with all these bitchy gays. And I got up like 3 or 4 times to get a drink. I was like, I'm getting up. I
Right.
don't know. I like Kylie, whatever, but that show
Well,
just didn't do it for me. I'm not saying that the show was shit, but it was
yeah.
boring to me. And that's why it's
Well,
on my list.
they can't all be winners.
No,
So
and
sometimes you're
yeah.
gonna have a dud.
And I'm gonna get some friends that are gonna listen to this and be like, really? I can't believe you didn't like that show. And I mean,
Fuck 'em.
I
Fuck
just
'em
was
right in the
bored.
pussy.
Was bored by it.
All right, let me go.
Yeah.
Let me go through mine real fast because I know that you've got a heart out soon. Britney Spears. Now, poor Britney. We're never gonna see her in her prime ever again. She likes to dance around her living room with knives these days and drive drunk. But I saw her at the MCI Center or whatever the fuck it was called that year in DC, and she was in the round. She had like Prince had the stage right in the middle. The girl did not sing one fucking note that night. It was all lip sync. I don't understand why we were there. I could have just stayed at home and watched her videos on MTV and had more fun. It was miserable. I think I was there with Steve Walker. It was awful, 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 and I couldn't wait to leave.
And I've
So-
never seen Britney live because of this,
Don't.
because I know
There's
that
no
that's what it's
reason.
going to be like. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is Whitney Houston in your hometown of Norfolk, Virginia.
Which is currently
19
underwater, apparently. They've had floods.
Yeah, I'm sorry for them. The Moment of Truth World Tour. This was 1987 when you
What
probably weren't.
What venue? Was it at the Scope? Was it at Scope?
Fuck if I know. I don't remember.
I bet you it had to have been at Scope.
The first time I've ever seen a show, first and last time I've ever seen a show in Norfolk. 1987, I was 17 years old, so I don't even know if I drove or a friend. Oh, I went with Clark Duncan. Yeah. Anyway,
Michael Clark Duncan?
shut up. It was the absolute worst concert I've ever been to. She sang every song, all of her hits up to that point, 1987, different than the record. So no one could sing along. She changed all the orchestrations for every single song. Some of the fast ones were slow. Some of the slow ones were fast. I mean, it just made no fucking sense. She changed the lyrics around. People were pissed and not happy. And maybe this was when she started doing drugs. I don't know. But people were not happy with that.
Whitney was notorious for not doing good live shows.
No, she was. I think she was
Her
only
concerts
good.
were not good.
She was only good in the studio. I mean, I've seen a million examples of her on award shows and things like that where she just was not great. Now, she was really good at singing the national anthem at the Olympics. She could do it if she had to.
That wasn't the Olympics, though. That was the Super Bowl.
Whatever. Was it? She also did. She did an Olympics, didn't she?
Well,
No.
that was Give Me One Moment in Time that the
One
Olympics
moment in
used as
time.
the theme for that year.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's why you're thinking that. Yeah.
Mr. Encyclopedia over there. He remembers everything. I remember
do.
nothing. Hey, I remember that, what's her name? Diana Ross left her Super Bowl show in a helicopter.
Hell yeah, that was the most diva thing ever. And that's one of the reasons why she's a legitimate icon.
And one of my other worst shows that I ever sat through was Bruce Springsteen, who I refuse to say is an icon because I just really dislike him a lot and I don't like his music.
I don't like him either.
It was almost 3.5 hours long with
Ugh.
no break. All the songs sound the same and they're drony and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, it was awful. And I spent most of the time, we were in a suite. So I spent most of the time in the back of the suite, just sitting there, twiddling my thumbs.
Contemplating why you're even at this show. Contemplating.
Exactly.
Your
And then I just wanted to mention that the very first show that I ever went to was at a venue that you mentioned earlier where you saw NSYNC, the Hampton Coliseum, the very first concert I ever saw was Huey Lewis and the News, right at the big moment of their career when their song was on fire because of Back to the Future that had just come out in, what was that, 85?
85.
86.
85.
And I probably saw this concert tour was probably in 86 that I saw them. So they were still white hot because of that movie. That was my very first concert ever. I wore my brown leather jacket, which I still have from when I was 16 or 17 years old. And you were allowed to smoke on the floor in the Hampton Coliseum while you were watching the concert, and someone burned a hole in the back of my leather jacket.
No. But that's a story, though, right? But I bet you were pissed at the time.
And I still have the leather jacket. I should have brought it in here as a
You should
prop
have been wearing
for the
it.
show. Yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, you
so
only
I'll
have a
end-
few minutes.
Yeah, I've got to go. And we did go through everything, but I'll just say one thing before I peace out, and that's how many concerts I've seen up to this point in my life, counting the last one we saw together, which was the Howard Jones and Wang Chung.
Yeah.
I've seen 69 musical concert, like
69. That's the gayest number of all,
right? So I'm not going to have it for long because I'm going to see Backstreet Boys in a couple of weeks, and it'll be my 70th show.
Less than 2 weeks from today. I can't wait.
I'm not counting Broadway shows or comedy shows. This is just music shows. 69 shows. So congratulations to me for being 69.
Congratulations to Robbie. And I think now that you mentioned Broadway, and I mentioned it earlier in the show, we should do a Broadway Swish Extra.
And that show would be much shorter because I haven't seen. I have seen can we count touring, Broadway touring? Okay,
we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we can definitely do that because I've seen a bunch of shows, and I'm not the biggest Broadway fan, but I like a little bit of everything, if you didn't notice. So I do dabble a little bit.
We know that about you, except for Katy Perry and Lady Gaga, apparently. And Taylor Swift. All right, so that wraps up.
It is what it is. I don't hate them. I just don't appreciate them.
That wraps up our concert special. Robbie has to go. I need another drink. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. We'll be back on Wednesday with an all-new episode, not talking about concerts. And we'll see you then.
Bye.
Hooray.
Yay. And we're on.
The Swish Edition is a production of Bethwick Media, LLC. Learn more about the show at swishedition.com. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast app or site. But only if you like us.
I hope so, because that took you a half an hour, and the show's only supposed to be 45 minutes.
I know. So now it's your turn.
So what? He can't follow directions. Why can't you follow directions?
I didn't even take a sip while I talked. I was trying to get it all out as fast as I could.
You did not. You are too funny. All right, I'll be
I
much
just don't
faster.
want to I just don't want to roll through it. That's boring just to say what you saw.
All right. I was just going to list them all. No, I'm just kidding.